chilly, damp autumn morning here in North Wales. What better time to come down to mid Wales for the day for some stunning waterfall photography. Walking through this valley and heading towards my location, I can't help but feel the stress just melt away. After a good 20-minute walk, I finally arrive at my location, and I can't help but stand and stare in awe at this magnificent waterfall. Standing at over 200 feet tall, right here in mid Wales. So that's Rhiwargor Waterfall right there. Very high drop waterfall. I'm not quite sure how much off the top of my head, but it's at least 100 metres, maybe less. You can't really tell distance from here. I'd have to find the proper information out, but it is an extremely stunning, beautiful waterfall. So much so, it's actually one of my favourite waterfalls, and so much so that it actually featured as the cover image for my waterfall book, the 30 Stunning Waterfalls in Wales. If you're interested in that book or any of the other books I have, you can see them in the link below. And that's about as far as I get with plugging my books. What we're going to do today, we're going to try and find a few compositions, maybe some compositions I haven't seen before, but there's a lot more flow to the water this time. Now the tree that I like as a feature is still there, right in the middle, so I'm hoping to get a shot of that. But first things first, I'm going to set up a composition around here, so I can get this lower portion of the falls first. And then I'll go and get a second composition up top there. Let's see what we can set up. So I've set up for my first composition, which is a pretty obvious composition for this waterfall. There is so much going on with this waterfall that it's hard to find anything singular to take a photograph of. There's just too much of it, and it's a shame to waste any of it. If I show you up in the corner here, this is the composition I've worked on. As you can see, I've got the waterfalls sort of snaking down the hill in front of me from the top all the way down to this waterfall in front. I've got the beautiful golden bracken up on the hill there, and the nice autumnal colours surrounding it. I've got some rocks with moss in front of me. I'm going to use them as a bit of a foreground. I'm going to focus stack the whole image, just create a nice shot all the way through. Polarizer's taking the glare off the water, making the water a lot darker. It also brings my exposure down a bit. The rest of the settings will come up with images. That is going to be a 6-image focus stack. Probably won't need all those images, but I'd rather have them and not need them. All in all, I think that makes for a pretty good shot, and what I love about it is the sheer drama of the waterfall coming down the hillside. It's a huge waterfall and it's got a lot of flow to it, making it a very impressive beast. Now I've actually lowered my camera, utilising more of the water as a foreground and less of the sky at the top. There really isn't much going on at the top of this waterfall, and that sky's just going to be blown out by a long exposure anyway. We have got a reasonably cloudy and dull day, as you can see behind me there. Although the sun is threatening to break through in parts. Having some sunlight on these, a nice sort of autumnal colours, would be nice, but it just makes the scene too bright. I'd rather have the moody and the misty, drab look of the landscape. Either way, that image is coming up now, and we'll come on to the next composition. Now, my next and final composition from this location, because we have got a lot to do today, unfortunately. There isn't really any further to explore up that way, although you could circle up and over the top of the waterfall, which there are a few more smaller falls at the top. But I don't really have time for that today, and to be honest, it's nowhere near as impressive as this one. So even though this video is going to be quite a short one, it introduces the location to you if you've never heard of it, and gives you an idea what to expect when you're here. Now the next shot is pretty much what you see behind me here. You've got this sort of punch bowl effect by the water coming down and the curvature of the rocks on the other side. If I put the composition I'm getting up, as you can see, I've got the tree in the centre there forming a foreground interest, surrounded nicely by the waterfall, the autumnal colours surrounding, and the bracken on the far hill there. Now once again, I've cut the top of the waterfall down a bit, so there's only a very small amount of sky up there. I may crop that in a bit further, or I might leave it depending on how it looks on the final image. Got polarizer again taking the glare off the water, and more importantly, focus stacking to get a nice sharp shot again. This is only a 3-image stack. I want to make sure all the elements are nice and sharp in it, especially with all the detail we have in the bracken and the trees. It is a very busy location visually, and getting exactly what you want does take a little bit of effort, but it is well worth it. As you see, the views around me, they're pretty spectacular as well. So I'm set down low for this composition, using the water as the lead. There it comes.